Why should I have people following me around, sitting up there like big shots, and they write very untruthful stories? They write very untruthful stories. So I did it with the Washington Post. I'm so happy. I don't know where they held. I said, you can come in. Where's the Washington Post? They're probably somewhere. Maybe they're in the back bleachers. I don't know. Okay. Now look, our federal authorities spend billions of dollars and deploy thousands of agents tracking and disrupting terrorist plots from people that are not really up to any good. We're going to stop it, folks. We're going to stop it. Just remember what I said. If I got elected, we're going to be fair. We're going to be straight. We are going to be so straight down the middle in terms of justice, but we're not going to let people take advantage of us. We're going to go to the movie theater. We're going to go on airplanes. We're going to lead our lives like we're supposed to lead our lives. We're going to be straight down the middle. Everything's going to be fair. There's going to be total justice. But we can't continue to live this way. We can't continue to live this way. People are going to be afraid to go out. They already are. I mean, if you think you feel safer now than you did 8 years ago, I think there's probably not anybody in this room that feels that way. So I want to just read something. Did anyone ever hear me do the snake? The snake. I think maybe I've never seen a time, maybe ever, where this is so appropriate. I mean, it's so appropriate. Now, you have to think of this in terms of Islamic terror. You have to think of it in terms of our border. You have to think of it in terms of all the people that are crossing, that are criminals, that are killing people and hurting people. We need borders. If we don't have borders, we don't have a country. We need borders. We need to have our country back. We want to get our country back. And we want people coming into our country, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Don't even think about it. We're going to build that wall. Don't even think about it. And who is going to pay for the wall? Who? 100%. Okay? 100%. You know, when I had the debates, the big debates, right? And what did I know about debating? I've been building and employing people and building up a great company and having lots of fun. I didn't want to do this, folks, I'll tell you. I don't know about you, but up here it's about 110 degrees right now. I didn't want to do this. I would have been very happy had Obama been a great president. I would have been very happy. You know what? If he were a great president, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. Had he been a great president, I would have been very happy. And most of the people in this room would have been happy. But you know what? He's been one hell of a lousy president. He's done a terrible job. Terrible job. He has done a terrible job. And we're running through weakness, and people are laughing at us. All over the world, they're laughing at us. And when China has a trade deficit we have with China, think of it, we have a trade deficit, $505 billion a year. Mexico, $58 billion a year. Japan, so much we don't even know what the hell the number is. Everybody. Vietnam is hot. They're all hot. Every country does great. When you negotiate against the United States, if you can't win, you don't have much going. You don't have much going. And we have to turn it around. We're going to get the greatest negotiators. We have in our country the greatest negotiators in the world. We're not going to make an Iran deal where we give $150 billion. We should have never given that money back. We should have never, ever given that money back. And those prisoners should have been released years ago before we ever started the negotiation, folks. Years ago. We should have gone in Do you ever see a negotiation, by the way, take so long? Especially since we lost every single point. We never once walked. Every time I'd hear, I'd say, oh, great, Secretary Kerry's going to finally walk. He didn't walk. The only thing he did is go into a bicycle race at 73 years old and fall and break his leg, then walk around. Never walked. But you know, had he walked, we would have made a much better deal. Had he walked, had he known what he was doing. The Persians are great negotiators. The Iranians are great negotiators. Not only, by the way, did they make a great deal there, but as sure as you... And I was against the Iraq war from the beginning. You know, Hillary said, oh, can you trust him with the button? She's the one that wanted to go into Iraq. I've been against it. I said, Iraq, if you obliterate their military, you are going to totally destabilize the Middle East, and that's exactly what happened. The Middle East became totally destabilized, and what happened? We got ISIS out of the whole deal. I mean, the thinking that we've had for a long time. And then Obama, the way he got us out. Think of it. He gives a date. We're going to be out by X date. Who the hell would ever say the date? In fact, the other side didn't believe him because they said nobody could be so stupid as to give a date. And then it turned out to be true. So he got out the wrong way. Came out the wrong way. If you remember, for years I've been saying, keep the oil. Shouldn't have been there, but keep the oil. Well, now ISIS has the oil. Iran is going to have the oil. They're all going to have the oil. And then instead of just a surgical strike in Syria and Libya and all these different places, I mean, look at Libya. A surgical strike, maybe. But the finest oil among the highest grades of oil in the world. Who has the oil, folks? ISIS has the oil. We don't even do anything to blockade them. They're selling the oil. They're making a fortune. They cannot believe how lucky they got. If I get elected, they're not going to be so lucky anymore, folks. They're not going to be so lucky. And when we got out, we should have taken, remember this, when we got out, we should have taken the oil. I'll never forget some of the pundits. Most of them, they don't have the brains they were born with. They said, they're talking about a sovereign country, Iraq. Crooked as hell. How about bringing baskets of money, millions and millions of dollars, and handing it out? I want to know, who are the soldiers that had that job? Because I think they're living very well right now, whoever they may be. But think of it. The money that went out, the money. We've spent probably $4 trillion over the last 15 years. In the Middle East, we build a school, it gets blown up. We build it again and again and again. But if we want a school in Greensboro, if we want a school in Brooklyn, if we want a school in Los Angeles, we have no money. We're flat broke. No longer, folks, no longer. America first. America first. Remember that. It's America first. It's America first. We're no longer going to be the stupid people. And we're not the stupid people. But we're led by the stupid people. And that's going to end, folks. That's going to end. And you know, I'll tell you something. We will have a better relationship with Mexico and China and India and Japan and Vietnam and all of these countries that are taking advantage of us like we're a bunch of dummies. You know, we send in our political hacks to negotiate with the smartest people in those countries. And this is what the result is. That's what the result. We have the smartest, we have the greatest, we have the best negotiators in the world, and we're going to use them to make these massive deals, and we're going to bring our wealth back to our country, and we're going to save our Social Security and our Medicare, and we're going to save our jobs, and we're going to start making product again. I mean, I know what happened to North Carolina after NAFTA was signed. And by the way, who signed NAFTA, right? Bill Clinton signed NAFTA. So people said, oh, the economy was pretty good then, except the person that happened to follow him, and for many years thereafter, we got killed because he signed NAFTA, and our jobs and our manufacturing left this country like nobody would believe. And all you have to do is take a look at North Carolina and all of these old places where you see the buildings today, and those people have been gone for many years. That was NAFTA that was signed by Bill Clinton. All right. So, are you ready? So this is called the snake, right? Al Wilson, the great Al Wilson. And it's really sort of amazing because it just works. And what you have to do is think about what we're getting into. We're letting in hundreds of thousands of people into our country. We don't know anything about them. We do know, though, it's going to be trouble. And again, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. It takes 2%, 1%. It takes 2 people. It doesn't take a lot. But it's going to be much more than that. And we are going to see things over the next number of years like you've never seen. I really believe, unless I'm elected president, I really believe that. Because we're going to be very, very smart, and we're going to be very, very strong, and we're not going to be the fools anymore. So, this is called the snake. Who, by the way, I rarely do it, but who has heard it? Who has heard it? Should I do it again? So think of your border. Think of people pouring in. Think of people pouring in who you know are going to be trouble at some point, okay? You know they're going to be trouble, all right? Okay, let's go. Ready? Are you ready? That's all right. Get them out. That's all right. Get them out. I love our protesters. The only way the cameras show what massive numbers of people we have is if we have our protesters. All right, take care of our protester. Please don't hurt our protester. He's a single protester. That's right, go home to mommy. Bye. Bye. Okay. This is called... Right. Okay, let's go. Ready? Think about your border, folks. Think about your border. Think about people coming into our country. We're going to protect our country. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Oh, well," she said, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the broken snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a curvature of silk, then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work. That night she soon arrived. Don't worry about it. Get him out. USA, 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 USA. All right, get him out. Thank you, officer. Thank you. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. You know, I get criticized every once in a while. They think Trump is too tough. I'm not tough. Please don't hurt that person. That's a very nice person, please. Okay. Gone? Gone? Are they gone? Yeah? Good. All right, good. Now she hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken, and it's been revived. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the broken snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, my gosh, you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin and then she kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed that vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you bit me, heavens why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." So, folks, we know what we're getting into, and we keep doing it because we don't learn. But we know what we're getting into, and we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. So, when I started on this quest, get them out. Oh, they're a little noisy over there. Get them out of here, will you, please? Get them out. So far in a crowd of like 9 or 10,000 people, we have 2 people that made a little noise. Front page of every paper, Trump rally. Let me tell you, folks, my rallies are the safest place on earth. The safest. The safest. So when I started this quest, and I didn't know I was going to do it, and I was helped by a lot of people, and you remember Indiana? Remember, Bobby Knight said, "I want to endorse you, Mr. Trump. You're what we need as president." And boy, that was going to be the firewall. Boy, did we win Indiana big league, right? That was like Richard Petty. That was something. But we started, and who knew what it would be? We had all these people like this Charles Krauthammer. Oh, forget it. I'll never forget. Before I announced, I listened to Charles Krauthammer. And it's like a month before. And I told my wife, I said, "Boy, this sounds tough." He said, "This is the single finest group of Republican leaders, perhaps in the history of the Republican Party. This is a great, great group of people." And then he goes, "I think he might have said, like, Donald Trump's not going to run, is he?" So I said, if these people, I didn't know most of them. I said, if these people are so good, what am I running for? And then one by one, boom, boom, boom. We start off with 17 people. Boom, 16, 15, 12, 9. Then we go 8, 7. Then we go 5. Then we go 4. Then we go 3. And we had 3 left. And I'll never forget, I had one state where I won like 38% of the vote. And Krauthammer and some others said, "He has not broken 50%. I had I think 14 or 15 people, right? 14 or 15. How the hell do you break 50%? I think that's I must have gotten a record. So you have 17 people, you're down to 15 or 14, and then you get this